never going back. I could never go back to where I was with the alcohol. It was such a low place in my life. I could never go back. I know I couldn't go back there. Even if I did sadly have a relapse, I could never go back to where I was. Now, in your 20s, you probably start drinking a little bit, and you will be sociable. It's a good way to meet people, isn't it? Because I moved to London when I was 20, and I've been brought up in a quite a small Northumberland village, joined the police. And what happens is, if you don't know many people, you haven't got much in common, then the pub's a place you meet people, isn't it? Because we've all got alcohol in common. Everyone likes to drink, don't they? They all like a drink. And then from then on, you drink a little bit more, you have a little bit more. If your social life's taken up by drinking, you don't tend to focus on your old hobbies anymore. It's a change of life, isn't it? It's natural progression, really. Just like my daughter moved to Manchester, she's made a new life down there, I did the same. But drinking is one of these things which brings people together. It did with me, and it gave me a lot of confidence. I felt great when I had a few drinks, and became a habit, which obviously turned to an addiction later. But I could never go back to where I was, is what I'm trying to say. Because I drank a bit more in my 30s and then 40s, and I got into serious trouble. One was, I left the police and I retired, and then I came back north and I was hospitalized. I had a few relapses, nearly died in 2019 when I was taken in. I had numerous problems with alcohol. I had ascites flu and spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. I had liver issues, had kidney issues. I had probably mental health issues, which isn't talked about enough. And my life was completely destroyed, really, living in a flat on my own. I had rats in there, no hot water, no heating. Some days I just sit. So I wouldn't go to bed sometimes, just sit all night and sip from cans of beer. I had hundreds of cans of beer in stock in a little cupboard. A typical day would be just to get up and try and survive. Lost all the credibility I had, lost all my confidence, lost my physical health, probably lost my mind, as I said. The day would just be to get up, crack a can open, be sick, just sitting with bile. I wasn't eating properly, looked terrible. Got to the point where I couldn't even get to the doctors. I was too frightened to go to the doctors after I'd been refused diazepam. Then I would maybe step into a taxi, go around the pub every day just to get out. Otherwise I felt that I was just being trapped. It was being like being a prisoner in your own home anyway. When you were so deep in alcohol addiction, then you're all imprisoned. And it's only you can get yourself out. And you'll hear people talk about the AA and this sort of thing, and about these self-help groups and mental health nurses, but I needed medical attention. That's the only thing that got me out. Because the AA I went a couple of times, I couldn't just talk myself out of this. I physically felt too ill. When I tried to cut down, I felt ill. I did try a couple of times to do this tapering. Went up to my parents' house a couple of times and to taper off. They bought loads of beer and put it in the garage. And I tried this, 10 cans one day and 9 for 2 days and 8 for 3 days and all that, but it didn't work for me. Cause when I was at about 5 cans a day, when they got into bed, I used to sneak down and take a few out in the garage, What's all? I was just harming myself. I was kidding myself. You can't kid yourself with this disease because it will kill you. It's very, very sneaky, because numerous people I've spoken to have been off for a long time, been sober, and it's just picking up that first drink, that one drink, the first one. I remember that from the AA meetings. As I said, it didn't work for me. I went a couple, and there's a couple of things came out of it, and then I thought I was the only one that had major problems, but I wasn't. People had much worse problems than me, with alcohol, with employment, with money, all that sort of thing. And it's just, somebody said, no, you don't pick up. What do you mean? Don't pick up the first drink. Because the first drink is the one which will lead to 1,000, which will lead onto relapse, full relapse, and that may kill you, which nearly did me in 2019. I nearly died of it because I had 8 years off and went back on the drink, you see. And all your days just trying to work out what you've done wrong, really. You feel guilty, you feel like you've let yourself down, your family down, you've got no future. your life's destroyed, and it will destroy you. It's a very powerful drug. I was speaking to a heroin addict who went on to alcohol, and he said it was easier to get off heroin than it was alcohol, because apparently, and don't take my word for this, heroin isn't as destructive on the organs if it's managed, but alcohol is very destructive on the organs, and alcohol is one of the only drugs that will kill you if you stop suddenly. Heroin addicts and drug addicts generally, although alcohol is a drug, tend to die early because of overdose or poison needles, that sort of thing. You know, blood problems. Hepatitis is a major one. But alcohol is so widely available. And I think the alcohol problem is much bigger than we are led to believe by government figures, to be fair. Because when I was in the hospitals, they were full to bursting with liver issues and alcohol issues, with, you know, people had heart attacks, strokes, all this sort of thing. And I was speaking to somebody the other day who said that pneumonia is put down as a cause of death in a lot of alcoholics because the immune system is weakened as the liver gets compromised. But you must stop if you get to the point where you're told stop, because the doctors aren't stupid. Even with liver disease, fibrosis, cirrhosis, if you stop the alcohol, total abstinence is the only way, then you will prolong your life. Because all these things are there to stay. Cirrhosis when you've got scarring, fibrosis when you've got scarring. You can't change them, you can't reverse them. But what you can do is you can change your lifestyle. So you're helping everything move on. And your body will fight for you, you know. Your body will really fight for you. So I could never go back to that. And when you come off the alcohol, you'll find a massive difference in your life. I now feel better than I did when I was 25 because I've had a second chance, you see. And you feel more, you've got more energy, you feel better in yourself, you feel you've got a future again. Because for years, if you're even a social drinker, 1 or 2 drinks a day still wears you out a little bit. It makes you tired, it doesn't make you sharp. You don't feel the same energy levels, you don't feel the same ambitions as you do. Because this alcohol is it's a depressing drug, isn't it? That's what it is. So you have these highs, you have this dopamine hit, and then you come off it and you withdraw, and then you go down again. So when you get to the point of you sort of looking forward to that next drink, even when you're young, when you start drinking, that's dangerous. Then really you need to look at it then. There isn't enough publicity about the dangers of drinking. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's been publicised enough. I'm trying to get a message out. I can't do it on my own. But I remember like lying in hospital bed thinking, I'd rather be in a ditch and be healthy than have a nice apartment, a nice car and money, because your health is your wealth at the end of the day, isn't it? If you haven't got your health, then you've got nothing. So if you're feeling a bit rough, you're feeling a little bit down, don't think it's because of anything else, because it normally is the drink. I was speaking to a doctor recently who said a lot of people used to come in to the surgery Monday and Tuesday, said, I don't feel well. They're stressed because they've they run out of money, they've got to do overtime work and they're tired. And he said, cut your alcohol down, cut the cigarettes off, cut the cigarettes off or out of your life. You'll have more money, you won't feel as stressed. It's common sense, isn't it? If you're feeling rough, feeling tired with a drink, cut it down. Try and stop. Get your life in order. There's a fantastic life out there, a fantastic world that you haven't even explored yet. Because when you get into this drinking phase, even if you're just socially drinking, it's every Friday, Saturday night for some people, isn't it? That's what they live for. To go to work, they might earn £2,000 a month. They'll be spending £700 or £800 on drink. What is the point? On something which is going to harm you. If you enjoy the videos, then please subscribe. Any comments, drop me a line, and I'll speak to you all soon.